This is an example of loops and if statements in the Logician's programming UI. We will start with a loop. If the player places a loop icon, a bounding box will automatically appear around the icon. This box can be stretched as large as necessary to encompass as many icons as necessary. Along with the box, a small icon will appear above the loop with a question mark. There, the player can type in any number they'd like. We'll use 3 for this example. Then the player can place whatever icons they'd like in the box, and the code will iterate through the command. In this scenario, the icons in the bounding box will be iterated through 3 times. After the 3rd time, the UI will jump to the next piece of code, which in this case is the end statement. The if statement works similarly. If the player selects an if tile, a bounding box appears, as does another icon with a question mark. On the sidebar, the player will also have access to a number of conditional icons, such as this is sunny icon. The player can then put any icons inside of that bounding box, which will only be used if the conditional is true. So the code iterates 3 times through the loop, then checks to see if it's sunny, which it is, so it runs the move icon. If the process was repeated and it wasn't sunny, the code would still iterate through the loop, but when it reached the if statement and determined it was false, it would skip straight to the next block of code, or the end in this case. As for nested if statements, or if statements within loops or vice versa, the bounding box can be extended to include another bounding box within it. Here, we have one if statement inside of another. The if statements do not have to be next to each other in order to be nested, but it can be, like in this example. Both if statements also receive their conditional icon above them. The player can drag in their conditional icons to evaluate in the if statement, in this case checking to see if it's morning, and to see if it's sunny. Now the player can place any icons they want in either both of the bounding boxes, or just the outer one. When the player hits play, the code will test each of the if statements in the order they appear. In this case, it is both morning and sunny, so all the code runs. However, if it's not sunny, the first 2 icons are skipped and only the move icon is run. And if it's not morning, the code skips straight to the end command.